So the idea of this is for you to develop some skills which you would be able to use in applications to university, college, and also for jobs as well. We've had a recruitment day for students from Peterborough Regional College to take part in the Northern Soul of Peterborough project.
I mean, you had the mods and greases.
Mods, greases, skinheads.
Peterborough was a hub for the Northern Soul culture that went out into March and Ely and Hunstanton and all around East Anglia. So it wasn't just Wigan, it wasn't just Blackpool. Peterborough was very important. There was important artists who came to Peterborough and important human stories to tell as well.
It seems such a great opportunity to get people talking about why they love music, why they love dancing, and it also tells us a lot about Peterborough and how it came to be, how it is, its history, and also relating to youth culture today.
Here today at Peterborough College, working with a group of students. They've been music students, media and journalism students and performing arts students, briefing them on what the project's going to be, how they're going to be interviewing older people who are involved in the Northern Soul and how we're going to take those interviews, put them onto a website, and also we're going to take that material and turn it into a piece or pieces of theatre that were part of the Heritage Festival.
Stand up to the man, you know.
What we've tried to do is try to give them an insight to Northern Soul, the background of it, the clothing, the retro feel, all the music. I've done a small dance session with them, which I hope they enjoyed. And yeah, we've just tried to make them feel comfortable with knowing the subject that they're actually going to be looking at with us. 5, 6, 7, 8, carry on. 1.
We've been trying to get them to understand if you really want to get to depth in what people are saying, you've got to find the signpost. So we've got them interviewing each other, we've got them talking in depth about how they feel about things and trying to sort of get them to understand how you need to demonstrate a bit of empathy with the people that you're talking to in order to coax the stories out. And as they've come together as strangers, I think they've done very well.
If you do not respect yourself, others won't respect you.
It's all about learning a new culture, so I'm up for it. I'm a very big music person myself, so any chance to learn, new music is fun.
An interesting fact about mods that might surprise us.
They wore more Italian stuff than they did English.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Like they rode Italian scooters. Most of their suits were, even though they were tailored here, they were Italian made. Because I kind of go to Scar nights and stuff like that. So this is sort of getting it. I'm learning other things that link in with it, other than just what the music is and stuff like that. So I like it.
At its peak, people travelled hundreds of miles to dance all night, defying mainstream fashions and the charts.
We're working with Peterborough Regional College because they're a partner that we've worked with a number of times before. We've given lots of students work experience. We've also brought shows here and brought students to see shows. So they came to me and said, do you want to do another project? And I couldn't think of anything better because it's about youth culture to talk about Northern Soul with them. Is it the book or is it the way it looks? The book's vintage, so that's a vintage.
What we're going to do is visit you on your tables and just see what you've written.
So grunge music has a lot of similarities to goth and emos.
The main ideas around goths is that the fact that they have accepted that everything is sunshine and rainbows, and they're cool with that.
Let me talk about the music.
Yeah, great.
They rap on fast rhythm, and they wear tracksuits and masks and big coats.
They wear man bags with Air Max 95s or black Air Force, North Face coats, Stone Island, Nike. They have a trap phone.
We have Panic at the Disco, which most people do know, Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, and there's quite a few.
The mods were more smart and kind of well dressed, so they believe that if they respected themselves, other people would respect them.
So the first thing that was surprising for me, I didn't know what roadmen were, and now I do. Something to do with my age, probably.
A serious company coming in really gives us sort of a better perspective on the industry as a whole. In college, when we do devised pieces and all that, it is very sort of closed off, whereas this is more sort of like open to the public, and we've got more that we can actually work with instead of just what we come up with in, say, an hour or two.
It's more
local.
together, we're all together, whereas usually we don't come together unless it's for an hour, as he said, an hour performance. Radio interests me quite a bit because I talk forever, so like, so I think it'd be pretty fun to do.
It'd be fun to do like a little podcast sort of
like a little podcast or something, on a subject that we could all relate to and kind of get our feelings across.
You all live near each other?
Yeah, next to each other, isn't it?
Where is this? Generally Peterborough.
This whole group is Peterborough.
Well, I'm hoping at the end of the day we will have given students a good indication of the project. They'll have enjoyed themselves, but also they are clear about kind of the possibilities for it. So for themselves in terms of, you know, what they could learn, the new techniques they're going to learn, but also the possibility of being involved in a real project that's going to be active, can be seen, is Peterborough based, and is about Peterborough.
The students have been really engaged with what's going on. The plan was that they would come in and learn a bit about Northern Soul and try some things out. They've expressed a love for Northern Soul, which we didn't know would happen quite so soon. And they've shown real maturity in like how we might approach the project and talking about how we would interview people.
I've watched them doing Northern Soul dancing at sort of 11:15 in the morning, you know, in February, and throwing themselves into it with enthusiasm. And they've responded, and they've been very mature in their attitudes and how they feel they're going to deal with the puppet. I think the project's got real legs with this group of kids involved.
COVID makes it harder, but you work out, all right, we can get around this. It might take longer, but we will get there in the end.
Everything got put into lockdown and we had to kind of gather our thoughts and think about how we were going to do it. We then started doing our online sessions on Zoom. In a way, I think Zoom has made it more accessible because people who don't live in Peterborough have been coming every week because they can stay in their living room or their kitchen and just log on.
Mine's Kate Hall. I'm a creative producer for Jumped Up Theatre. The project slowed down and changed, but it kept moving forward. And then once the college came back, we were able to get the students back in together. And we created a radio play rather than a public event. And they rehearsed them and then we recorded them. And then we got together for a day dancing.
So before I started the dancing, we played some of the tracks and there wasn't a single person who was standing still. Everybody was either smiling, having a bit of a jig, tapping their foot, tapping their leg, and it really does, it's infectious, so it really does make you want to move, and it makes people happy as well.
Try them up against yourself first, pull them against your waist to see what kind of feels like it would fit. You've got two options now and you'll make you choose.
So I may actually go with the dress.
Yeah, I'll try them both, see what works.
That's two completely different ways of going. Yeah. So see what you feel. So I'm going to have a look and pick some things initially to try on that kind of you feel you like. Let's just try that round and see if that will fit. And then that gives you... Depends how bold you want to go. Fold it in like that and then it won't reappear. I'm just going to pin them on the back here and then you just pin them on the front. You hold each other's hand and just pull yourself just like this. Look at that.
For the students involved in the project that I work with, there was a really nice sort of line through. So the project in the hall, and then we did the oral history training, and it was literally in the oral history training that things sort of fell apart a bit. And then it stopped, and then cut to us coming back to college and Kate's idea of being adaptable and moving it to a radio play. We rehearsed in this room, we recorded it in the room over there. It's a lovely, beautiful line from the hall to this.
We had a training day to interview Northern Soulers in Peterborough, but we never got around to it because of the pandemic.
Jason, the director, along with the help of others,
I interviewed people from the Northern Soul era, and they adapted some of these people into the characters that are actually in the radio drama.
From the recordings, Nick, the writer, took those and interpreted it into the script and made this story and brought real experiences and real people into the script, which is great because that makes it more real, authentic.
What a great night. Sold out, proper DJs. Smudge did a set, John Manship did one, Poke was there too.
Paul Howard, poor man, he made all these sandwiches. We couldn't eat any of them because when you're flying, if you know what I mean, you don't get hungry.
I learned a lot in that training for the interview. I really have a strong feelings towards social history. I think it's really important. So I definitely wanted to be involved in that when a year later Jason asked if I wanted to audition for Jane, and I did.
I got the email from Jason asking me if I wanted to audition for it, and I looked it up, read the lines for the character, and I decided to give it a go.
We want to do something.
We thought...
First rehearsal, I think, was more getting to know of each other and reading it and finding out what we was actually here for.
Suddenly, the world was coming to Peterborough.
So I play or do the voice of Dennis in the episodes. So he's one of those just good friends who gets very, really excited and pumped up about everything. So it's really exciting to try different characters, try get into what drove them to like this Northern Soul. Was it the music? Was it the fashion, the dancing? I didn't know about Northern Soul at all until I got into this project. I've been here in Peterborough my whole life, no idea that it had this big following and so much going on here. So it's interesting to see what people our age were doing in those times.
The Marina Soul Nights put Peterborough on the map. I met people I'd never met before. Black, Asian, Scottish, even people from London.
It was so new, different, exciting. I think we were all wondering, will it be as good as we hope? The queue built up, everybody pushing and shoving, the doors opened, and it was pure magic.
Keeping the Faith, episode 4. Steve has a new laptop.
So this is the first time today, was the first time that students actually heard it.
How old do you think those kids are over there? They're certainly not 18. You think you're so grown up at that age, don't you?
Oh, hearing it today it was kind of weird hearing your own voice, but I love the way that they've changed it. So we never had any of the sort of the typing of the keyboard or the music. So having it dubbed over, it sounds really good, and it sounds really professional, and I'm proud that we've been able to put something on that's such a high standard.
I think we've just been picked up by Mrs. Robinson.
Peppermint?
Thanks.
I was a bit nervous to begin with because it was not the first time hearing back, but hearing back after they did all the editing and after we actually went into the booths and did the professional reading. It's always hard to hear your own voice back, but we didn't hear any of the added sound effects, so the cars driving by, the people talking and the music.
I don't know, Steve. What do you think?
We've got to go to Wigan, Dennis. We've especially got to be there tonight.
Have we?
Yes. There's a slip road coming up. Could you let us out there?
You sure?
I'm positive.
Oh well, just as you like.
I think adding all those in, it really helped paint and picture. In my head I could close my eyes and imagine the scene. It sounded really well, and I was quite proud of it.
What I hope it shows them is that the hard work that they put in equals something that they're really proud of. It sounds like something that they would listen to that someone had been paid for, and kind of, personally, I believe that's an avenue that I really try and encourage students to think about, that the performing arts, creative art is a job, it's got skills, and you should be paid for it.
Northern Soul is a way of life. It really is, if you know what it's about and how you can get a connection with it.
And it was such a large piece of culture, so it was really nice to learn about it all and to meet some new people and work on this project with them.
Until the workshop last year, I had no idea what Northern Soul was. It's really fun. When you actually get into it and the music's on, it's like really lovely to be a part of, and that's when you get that sense of community. And so I do feel connected to Northern Soul in that way when we do dance for it.
It's kind of taken all those stories and all that history, which is a huge history. It's like connected in Peterborough, but it connects across the country, and stored that as something that, you know, everyone can look at and listen to.
I hope the young people have been given a sort of insight into how they can make work in lots of different ways, and also all the different layers that are involved. So they've had directing, they've had a choreographer, they've had film, they've had a writer. So they've had the sort of full experience of how you can work together to make something, but you just need the really best people to do that as well. So it raises their aspirations as to what can be done.
Through the project I've learned loads of new things about voice acting, because I knew next to nothing about it before because I've only really looked at theatre. But I've always been intrigued by it, so this project's been really helpful to help broaden my knowledge of acting as a whole.
I've not done much voice work before, so it was just a really good opportunity.
It's just nice to get this experience and be a part of something important while working with people that, you know, make me laugh and that.
It's been really great, like getting to know like all the other cast members and being a part of this amazing project, and it's just been something that I'll never forget.